Okay, so tomorrow's quiz is going to have 14 questions on it. And at the top of the page, the instructions are just going to say, factor completely. So it's not going to say, oh, this is a difference of two squares, factor it. Or this is a perfect square trinomial. The instructions at the top of the 14 questions will say factor completely. It'll be your job to go through and see, is it the difference of squares? Is it the difference of cubes or the sum of cubes? Is it a perfect square trinomial? Is it the traditional trinomial factoring? Is it factor by grouping? Or is it just a plain old factor out a GCF? And factor out a GCF should always be your first thing you should look for. Then from there, you're going to keep on going until you can't go any further. So the first one, this is the difference of two squares. So as soon as I see this, I'm going to go ahead and square root the first term and square root the second term. It's going to create two binomials. One will have a plus sign, one will have a minus sign. Doesn't matter the order you put them in there. So I'm going to square root the 81s to the fourth. Square root of 81 is 9. And then when I square root a variable, I just divide it by 2, so it becomes an s squared. Then I'll square root the 16. It becomes 4t to the fourth in both spots. And now the first binomial, it's finished. There is no such thing, or there's nothing that I can factor when it's the sum of two squares. However, the second binomial, I can keep going. So again, I'm going to square root the 9s squared. I'm going to square root the 4t to the fourth, and then that'll create two new binomials. So the first one I'm just rewriting because I can't factor it any further. And the second one, the square root of 9s squared is 3s. And again, it's going to create two binomials, one with a plus, one with a minus. And then 3s goes here. And then the square root of 4t to the fourth is 2t squared. And now I'm finally finished. The two binomials I just created, 3 is not a perfect square, 3s is not a perfect square, so I'm finished. Now, remember that after you factor something, you can always multiply back all of the terms that you've created, and if it doesn't go back to the beginning, you've done something wrong. So for this one, it is a traditional trinomial factoring. It's not the perfect square trinomial. So what we're going to need to do is multiply the beginning and the end. Once I do that, I am going to get 6x squared. So I'm looking for two numbers that are going to multiply to give me 6x squared, but the same two numbers that will add to give me a 5x. Now really I don't need to worry about the x because I know both of my terms are going to have an x, or my factors. What I really need to look for are just the two numbers that multiply to give me positive 6, but who also add to give me positive 5. And my factors of 6 are going to be 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. However, the one that when you add them, that gives you the 5 is going to be the second one. So it's going to be the 2 and the 3. So the two factors are going to be 2x times 3x. And then 2x plus 3x will give me what I need. So you rewrite the first term as it is. I'm replacing the 5x with the two factors I just found. And then I rewrite the last term. Now I can make my groups. I'll make a purple group and I'll make a pink group. So the GCF of my purple group is going to be 2x. Going to divide. And I'm left with x plus 1. And then the next one, my GCF of pink is going to be 3. Divide. And now you've got what you got when you divided to be the same. It is now the GCF. So write it down once. And then take the two GCFs you divided by, and they become the second binomial. So my final answer here is x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. And again, the order here doesn't matter. If you would have written the 2x plus 3 first and then the x plus 1 second, it's the same thing. Let me go back to the Classkick and let's see who has the next one. This is the difference of two perfect cubes. So what you can do here is you're going to cube root the first term and then cube root the 27. The cube root of b plus 3 to the third power is just b plus 3. The cube root of 27 is going to be 3. And again, it has the same sign as the original. And then now the next parentheses has this b plus 3 squared. So I'm going to put b plus 3 squared. Then the next term, so we're doing SOAP, same sign, opposite sign, so I put a plus sign. And now remember, the next term is multiplying these two. So I'm going to do 3 times b plus 3. And then the last term, always positive, and it's going to be the 3 squared. So now I need to FOIL this b plus 3. Let me just FOIL it down here at the bottom. So I'm going to do b plus 3. So b plus 3 squared means b plus 3 times b plus 3. I'm going to FOIL it, and I get b squared plus 3b plus 3b plus 9. Add the middles, b squared plus 6b plus 9. So now the first parenthesis also, notice here 3 minus 3 is 0. So that's all that's left there is a b. Then the second parenthesis, after I FOILed the b plus 3, b squared plus 6b plus 9. Next, I need to distribute this 3. So this becomes 3b plus 9. And then now I'm going to square this. Now I'm going to go back and look for any like terms. So I still have the b out front. I have nothing to add to the b squared. I've got a 6b and a 3b, becomes 9b. And then lastly, I can add up all my 9s. 9 plus 9 plus 9, and it's 27. So here is the final answer. So again, so for here you had to factor by grouping. I made a purple group and a red group. My GCF of purple was the u. And then I divided, and I ended up with u minus 3v. Then the GCF of the red group was the negative 6w. I divided, and I ended up getting the exact same thing after the division. So then you write that once, and then again, group your GCFs for the second binomial. So for this one, since 6 is not a perfect square, it is not a perfect square trinomial. So what I need to do here is multiply the beginning and the end. And this is going to give me negative 54 m squared n squared. Really, all I'm looking for are the two numbers that will multiply to give me the negative 54. And that will add to give me the negative 25. I'll go back and each of the factors are going to have an m and an n. So if I start my list of factors of 54, notice that it's negative. So this tells me my signs are different. And the bigger factor gets the sign of the middle, which the middle number is negative. So the bigger number will be the negative. So this will give me negative 53 when I add them. So this one doesn't work. But if I try 2 times negative 27, when I add them, I get the negative 25. So these are going to be my two factors, positive 2mn, and negative 27mn is going to give me the negative 54 m squared n squared. So again, rewrite the first term, 9m squared. Replace this middle with the two factors you just found, and the order that you place them in here doesn't matter. If you would have preferred to put the 27 first, it works as well. It doesn't really matter. So now that I have my 4-term polynomial, Now what I can do is make my groups. So I'll make a purple group and I'll make a pink group. So the GCF of purple is going to be just the letter M. I'm going to divide and I get 9M plus 2N. My greatest common factor of the pink group is going to be negative 3N. I'm sorry? Okay, so then divide by negative 3, and then you're left with 9M plus 2N. And then again, this is the same, write it down, and then put the two GCFs together. Now, like Jeremy just asked, if you would have set up your polynomial, your 4 terms, with the 27mn first and then the 2mn, then your groups would have looked different. But that's perfectly fine. You're still going to get the same answer. It doesn't matter. So you could have also put and made your groups this way as well. You'll still get the same answer. Okay, so for number, the first one here, 42 minus 23x plus x squared, what you're doing is I put it in standard form first. Then I was looking for 2 numbers that will multiply to give me 42, and then 2 numbers, the same 2 numbers, that will add to give me negative 23. As I start my list of factors, I found the one that will work will be negative 2 times negative 21. And because the leading coefficient or the number in front of x squared was a 1, I can go right into my 2 binomials. I don't need to factor by grouping. Okay, so as soon as you can recognize that this first term is a perfect square and the last term is a perfect square, check it to see if it satisfies it. So what you do is you square root the first term, square root the next term, and then double it. And if it gives you the middle, which it does, xy, then we know that this is a perfect square trinomial. And all you need to do is take the square root of the x squared, the square root of the 49y squared, put the sign in the middle, and then you square it. And you're done. Now, if you didn't catch that, you can do it the traditional trinomial factoring method. I'm just going to go ahead and realize that these are perfect squares. So I'm going to square root and square root. So set up my 2 binomials. One gets a plus sign, one gets a minus. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of c to the 4th is c squared. The first binomial, there is no way to factor the sum of 2 perfect squares. So I'm just going to rewrite that one. However, the second one, I can keep going. I can do the difference of 2 perfect squares. So again, I would square root, make my 2 binomials, one with the plus, one with the minus. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of c squared is going to be c. And now you're done. So for this last one, if you thought at first glance that this was a perfect square and so is this, you are correct. However, when you square root the 4x squared, you get 2x. When you square root the 25y squared, you're going to get 5y. But then when you double it, it only gives you 20xy, which is not the middle. So it is not a perfect square trinomial. So what we have to do now is traditionally factor it. Multiply beginning and the end, and we get negative 100 x squared y squared. So what we're looking for is 2 numbers that will multiply to give me negative 100, but who will add to give me negative 15. So once I start listing my factors of 100, I can do 1 and 50, and again, signs are different, and the bigger factor will be negative. 1 and 100, and 2 and 50. And then 3 doesn't work. 4 and 25 still doesn't work. I'm trying to get 15. And then now finally, 5 times negative 20 will work. And again, remember, these will have an xy with them. So now rewrite the first term, 4x squared. replace this with these two. And again, the order doesn't matter how you put them in. I can put the 5xy first, and then the 20, and then rewrite the last term. Now I make my groups. The GCF of my first group is just the letter X. And the GCF of the pink group is going to be negative 5y. And then what remains after we divide is 4x plus 5y. Notice again, these look the same, which is what we wanted. It's now a GCF, so you just write it down and then take the two numbers that you divided by, and they become the second binomial. And again, the order doesn't matter. And that is it for the Classkick. So remember, you have that PDF copy of the review. I will be posting a solution file, but if you've already started looking at it, it does have the answers at the bottom. There's also the WebAssign factoring review if you want to do that. That one is optional. You have no homework that you have to turn in tonight. Your only homework is to study. And again, the more practice of factoring you do, the faster and more accurate you become.